book lovers were spoiled for choice with some of the popular South African and international book titles making it onto the bestseller list. Among the books were Angela Makhiwa's The Reed Dance Stalker, Marecia Damons and Daniel Steyn's The Thabo Bester story, probably one of the bestsellers, Andre de Ruyter's Truth to Power, Rassie Erasmus's Rassie, and the much-anticipated Jada Pinkett-Smith's book, Worthy. So as we reflect on the year that was this morning, we take a deeper look at how some of the headlines were reflected through books, and we're joined in the studio by Shylock Matsunyane, who is the Deputy Manager at Exclusive Books in Rosebank. Shylock, great to have you. Welcome.
Great to be here, Leanne. I must say good morning to you and good morning to the viewers at home.
Indeed, and it looks like we're sitting in our own little library. I'm loving it. It's looking
amazing.
Stunning, doesn't it?
Amazing.
Okay, we have got books and more books, which are just absolutely fantastic to get through. And this just shows you, we don't realize what we've been through this year. We really don't. But when you sort of put these books on the table and you look at them at a glimpse, you realize this has been a busy book year. I mean, everything's been happening.
It indeed has been a busy year. I mean, we've come up with books of stories that had made headlines this year. Books that carry messages of hope to a whole lot of us. And I mean, it's that time of the season where everyone wants to have a book, wants to give out a book. We set in November and came up with 130 titles that we're promoting, and we call this our yearly The List promotion, which runs the whole of December at all of our branches of Exclusive Books.
I've always wanted to know this. What makes a book a bestseller?
Look, it's a combination of all sorts. It's a good story, a beautifully written story. It's the characters that you get to read about. It's the message that the book carries. And it's the joy and the laughter, the hardships that one gets out of reading a book. And I mean, overall, there's also the popularity of the author also, who brings across their good crafts.
Yeah. So I know it's been a very busy news year, and that's what we focus on all the time, but I can't find it. But the Thabo Bester story.
Oh,
yes. Is that the one over there?
Thabo Bester.
The Thabo
yes.
Bester story. Okay, that I think was one of the, people were desperate to read. I'm going to stand up and grab it if you don't mind. Talk to me about this. Have people gone mad for this one?
Look, everyone was like, oh, Thabo Bester, oh, Thabo Bester. And we had the pleasure of launching it in our store at Rosebank, and got in touch with the two authors of Ground Up Media, and it was amazing. It was at the talk of the night in Rosebank, and such an amazing story. And the way the two journalists followed the story and the way they bring it across. I mean, everyone is reading about it, hearing about the Thabo Bester story on the news, the escape and the presumed suicide.
Yeah, I mean, this is a story that gripped us, and we were watching from what they were wearing to where they were, to escaping out of jail, to bodies burnt. It's just so fascinating. So this was one of the big ones, a very big seller, Marecia Damons and Daniel Steyn, so the journalists that worked on this one. I mean, that makes it a very, very interesting one.
Read, yeah.
But I mean, if we put the news aside, but you can't put the news aside too much because there's so much about it.
I mean, this is news itself.
This is news itself, exactly. Sports. The books that came out on sports, one can only imagine. I mean, from the Rugby World Cup, and those probably are two massive sellers at the moment.
It's been a great sporting year here in South Africa. I mean, you take the Springboks winning the World Cup in France. We got a holiday on the 15th of December, which was amazing. I mean, Caster Semenya, we all celebrated when we had the developments on her case. You cannot talk about rugby and not talk Sia and Rassie. I mean, Rassie taking you through his childhood challenges, and Sia Kolisi, the challenges also that he went through. Walking barefoot to training grounds. I mean, to be the captain of such a great team, the Springboks, who would ask more? Yeah.
I mean, this one, what would you say has been, I mean, at the moment, can you kind of gather which has been one of the best-selling books this December, this Christmas? Are you able to see it at that point now?
Leanne, I'm a bookseller before anything else. And any book with me, it's a good book.
Yeah.
But I promise you, the 130 titles that we have on the list promotion, these are good books that are decided by managers and publishers and a team of our marketing. And it's so amazing what we go through in getting to choose interesting and good books for our readers out there. And
But
I would struggle, I tell you.
Is there one that you just can't keep the stock of, that people just want it all the time?
Look, the Diary of a CEO, Rassie, Erasmus, I looked at what we had when I was preparing for this interview here, and I was like, come, we need to keep track of Rassie, because we seem to be
running out of stock of that one. I was
in
my
all branches,
my mind
you know?
was going there. I figured that probably is one of the best ones. Talk to me about the Diary of a CEO, though. The 35 Laws in Business. What's this one about? So this is Stephen
Bartlett.
Yeah.
Yes, Stephen Bartlett gives you the. It's not like your everyday business book. He gives you also the psychological aspect of things in the Diary of a CEO. He takes you on challenges. He takes you on challenges that you can work with and overcome in this the Diary of a CEO. It's such a brilliant written book. And look, anyone in business, anyone in life can refer to it.
Yeah. All right. So that's a nice one. Now, internationally, and I know that this one, I kept it next to me here. I haven't. SK said she started reading it. This is the Jada Pinkett-Smith book, Worthy. This one has also gotten the keen interest, because we all know, I mean, this is, there's a lot of controversy around Jada Pinkett-Smith and what happened with Will Smith and the slap at the Oscars and their divorce, and then they're back together, and then the allegations about Will Smith and her life and that whole thing about Tupac. This must be quite a hot potato too, a lot in demand.
Ask me about it. I mean, the title says it.
It does. Yeah, it does.
It's a wet read.
Yeah.
It's Jada Pinkett. It's we all know what has been going on in their relationship with Will Smith. I mean, what more to understand and get it than reading from her biography?
Yeah. This is also
it's a great read. It's a demand in itself, and like the title says, it's a worth read.
Yeah, that one and the other one that I was looking for on the book, The Year of the Locust.
I've got it over here.
Have you got it over there? So
Terry
this
Hayes.
one is a massive one as well, the Terry Hayes one.
I mean, Leanne, this has been quite a wait. If you read Terry Hayes on I Am Pilgrim, everyone has been waiting for this. And if you follow Terry Hayes, he wrote this while in Portugal, but it's set in Scotland. I mean, 2 years of not seeing family during hard lockdown, COVID-19, where Portugal went into hard lockdown, and Terry Hayes worked on this beautifully written book. I mean, it's amazing how there's a pattern here. You have what I would call our mainstream authors that we've been waiting books on, that have taken years in bringing out their work. And when the work came out, it is amazing. It is everyone's read. Covenant of Water, Abraham Vegas also. If you take how long it took after the cutting of stone, I mean, we've got our own local there, Angie Makola. She also took years in bringing out the Reed Dan Stalker after the famous Red Ink. So it's been that year where you have your authors coming through, and this is the season for our mainstream authors as well. This is the time that we look forward to as booksellers also, bookstores, publishers, and all of us. I mean, people that get to buy books also, there's everyone who wants to buy and give out. And these are good stories. Jeffrey Archer on Traders Gate also.
Always.
I mean,
always a popular read.
He's referred to as being the PLS page turner, and you can imagine what it's saying.
I understand that why. So can we talk about Bombshell books as well? Because, I mean, we tend to forget how busy this year has been. And this came out this year as well.
Oh.
And this was the Andre de Ruyter book, which, I mean, truth to power, people still talk to this. Is there still a lot of interest in this book? I mean, are people still buying it, or is it kind of, because there's always that controversy about a book being, spread on WhatsApp and people, go in and send this out, even though this one's, as you say in the top here, over 50,000 copies sold. So this was a big seller. Is it still in high demand?
It's still in high demand. I happened to listen to one of the interviews by this journalist on one of the professors around, and the sense you're getting from that is there's a lot happening behind the scene. There's so much that Andre de Ruyter talks about, and we're just taking it lightly. And those that are inside and within knows the stories and knows how far truthful is in the stories. So for us to understand and get to know as to what's happening, what's transpiring, one can only do himself or herself a favor and read Andre de Ruyter's book.
Knowledge is power. We haven't even touched on cookbooks. We haven't touched on children's books, travel books. There is so much, but this is what's out there. This is the year that's been. And all I'm going to do now is take a deep breath and enjoy the smell of the pages that are coming from these books, these brand new books that are yet to be cracked open, and give it a read. And that's the best smell in the world.
Don't you all love the smell of a book?
It's the best smell in the world. Shylock, thank you for spoiling us with the smell. Shylock Matsunyane, who's the Deputy Manager at Exclusive Books in Rosebank, talking to us about some of this year's most popular books and what South Africans are reading this festive season. We'll see you after the break.
Kids in a candy store, like a treasure trove.
It is.
Like, couldn't wait. So, this is what I'm gravitating to.
Is that the one, the
at the moment?
Stalker?
Yes,
yeah, that looks
because
amazing.
That one I've got, a Caster Semenya book.
Yeah.
I've started on Worthy. So I've already gone halfway through that.
I've snatched this for some reason, and I'm a Jada Pinkett fan, but I don't know why I'm hanging on to it.
I think you just want the two-pack gossip.
Maybe, I don't know why.
That's why you want
hanging on. This one and the Thabo Bester one, I'm quite, and the Year of the Locust.
And Rassie.
Listen,
and
Rassie, I must say, Rassie, we've got at home. Sia, we've got at home.
Yeah.
Anyway, there's lots.
Yeah,
there's lots.
Nice.
Go on, have a beautiful day. I'm in Cape Town.
I'm
in Cape Town tomorrow. So I'm going to have
following
some fun.
the sun.
I'm following the sun in the Cape.
I'll be holding the fort while she's following the sun tomorrow.
Brilliant. Thanks for being with us, Shylock. Have a wonderful
And thanks for having me here.
Absolute pleasure.
Looking forward to you guys.